Hello, this is Daniel Rosenthal, and it's another one of my vlogs, video vlogs, I guess. This was from an email that I wrote uh, August 11th, 2014, and I hope you enjoy it. I titled it Humpty Dumpty. The rhyme is one of the best known and most popular in the English language. The most common modern text is Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty together again. It's a simple quatrain with external rhymes that follows a pattern of AA, BB with a trochotic meter, which is common in nursery rhymes, from Wikipedia, of course. The melody commonly associated with the rhyme was first recorded by the composer and nursery rhyme collector James William Eliot in his National Nursery Rhymes and Nursery Songs, London in 1870. The Round Folk Song Index, which catalogs folk songs and their variations by number, classifies this song as 13,026. Here's my take on this classic. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. This represents the nation or the empire. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, the end of the empire or nation. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty together again. As we see from world history, the breaking up of the empires or nations has been a never-ending effort of all the king's horses and all the king's men to put things back together again. I also think this classic has symbolism to the fall of man as told in the Bible. Of course, I'm biased since I take the story to be more than just a story. Anyway, basically, the idea is that there was a man, Humpty, who had a great fall, eating the forbidden fruit. And world history is about putting the pieces back together again. And like the proverbial egg, it is not an easy task to put the egg back together again. That is where the religions come in. That's the idea of manifest destiny. It's the idea of all the world empires and the nations that ever existed, all to put the pieces together. How did the egg, man, get on the wall? The wall is the Garden of Eden, or Nirvana. Enough about Humpty. My second unusual thought that followed the Humpty insight was, there is this theory of evolution that is very popular. In fact, it actually explains quite well many questions about our world. It serves kind of as a religion if you drill it down. I always had these really basic questions about the theory. One of them is how does it go with the second law of thermodynamics, aka entropy. And this is also from Wikipedia, Law of Entropy. But then after reading the actual article, I realized that I totally misunderstood the second law of thermodynamics. Anyways, about evolution, that's still a theory and not a law. It is well accepted by people who accept evolution that there was once dinosaurs. The latest information companies like National Geographic publish that dinosaurs eventually evolved into birds. But apparently some animals did not and have not evolved at all. How is that even possible? I also personally do not understand why we would want to be related to monkeys. I mean, even if it is true, even interestingly enough, this very large question about evolution is addressed in an interesting fashion by Yehuda Halevi in the classic The Kuzari. Of course, he does not use the term evolution in the book. The book is a recording of a discussion between the king of the Khazars and a rabbi. Actually, to be more precise, the book is Yehuda Halevi's way of answering questions he received during his lifetime. In the introduction, he writes that he found the story to be a very useful way to answer the questions. Eventually, the Khazar king converted to Judaism. This has actually really happened in real history. There was a Khazar kingdom 8th or 9th century that did convert to Judaism. We're not really sure how many people converted, but it really is a historical fact. You can look it up later. Anyways, in the story in the book, the Kuzari. Before the Kuzari converts, he has the discussion is written in a question answer format. One of the discussions is about the age of the world, the universe. Even the universe can even be put in the discussion, even though the book focuses only on the age of the world itself. In one set of the discussions, the king and the rabbi discuss the age of the world. In number 62, the king. If I had supported my arguments by reference to a Negro people, i.e., a people not united upon a common law, thy answer, in the previous answer, would have been correct. Now, what is your opinion of the philosophers who, as a result of their careful researches, agree that the world is without beginning? And here it does not concern tens of thousands and not millions, but unlimited number of years. Now, this book, the Kuzari, and Yehuda Levi, he lived in the 12th century. So here we have a discussion, a very, very early discussion, way before Charles Darwin, several hundreds of years before Charles Darwin. Here we have a book that was written by a Jewish person, a very religious Jewish person. Yehuda Levi was a sage, a Talmud scholar. He kept halachas, Jewish law. And here he's admitting that he's entertaining this question via this book about how old the world is, that it could be unlimited number of years. And this is what the rabbi writes, meaning Yehuda Levi writes this answer to this kind of question about how old is the world. And again, you have to realize that this book was written the book was originally written in the 1200s. Anyways, so the rabbi answers the king. There is an excuse for the philosophers. Being Grecians, science and religion did not come to them as inheritances. They did not inherit science and religion. They belong to the descendants of Japheth from the Torah, who inhabited the north, while this knowledge coming from Adam and supported by divine influence is only to be found among the descendants of Shem, who represented the successors of Noah and constituted, as it were, his essence. This knowledge has always been connected with and will always remain so. The Greeks only received it when they became powerful from Persia. The Persians had it from the Chaldeans, and it was only then that the famous Greek philosophers arose. But as soon as Rome assumed political leadership, they produced no philosopher worthy of the name. So he doesn't answer the question exactly, but he basically says the Greek philosophers didn't make anything up. They didn't have their own source of their information, that they got it from other people. Now, Yehuda Halevi is not the last word on the subject, but interestingly to reflect on the answer. In short, he is stating that without the concept of divine influence given to one branch of the sons of Noah, the philosophers would be correct in the conclusion that the age is unlimited. Of course, Yehuda Levi did not live to learn about the Big Bang Theory, and how that basically, at least philosophically, put an end to the idea that the universe or the earth has no beginning. Since even the most orthodox Jew you could find agrees that the Big Bang fits in with the idea of the Genesis first verse, because it says in the beginning, and Big Bang says that there was a beginning. So how would Yehuda Levi phrase the argument given the Big Bang Theory? No one literally believes anymore that the world has no beginning. There's no philosopher that could say that it's eternal, that the earth itself was always here and never had a start. It had to have a start. All the scientists, even though they don't say it's a law, the Big Bang, it's a theory, the Big Bang Theory, we do it. Well, I mean, it's most commonly accepted explanation for how the universe got here, how our world got here, is that there was a start point. And that's exactly what Genesis says. The first line says, in the beginning, there was a start point. So everyone, I mean, you can't even have a conversation without saying that there was a start point to the universe. It was 4 billion, 20 billion years ago, 4 billion years ago. It doesn't matter. There was a beginning. So you have to come around to saying that there was actually a beginning, which leads me back to Humpty. Humpty is an egg. Eggs are usually oval, round in shape. I'm sure you're aware of that. We all have our egg that we place on our wall, be it money, our homes, our children, our nations, our empires, our computers, our religion. We all put the egg on the wall. Maybe it's just time to change the story, to take the egg off the wall.